welcome to another session of Laundry and Learn. It's like a lunch and learn, but with laundry. It's Friday afternoon, so we hope you either have a basket of laundry that may have been sitting there for days and days that you haven't had a chance to fold yet, or maybe you've got a cocktail or a mocktail in your hand and you're just coming to hang out with us. Either way, we're going to talk all about, life and investing, financial freedom, and more. So, Julie, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's we're just coming off of a bunch of rain here. It's been we're on a flood watch, so it's but I think it's all pretty much done. So it's been fun to watch the pool overflow with water, and we actually ended up hopping in the pool yesterday because the water was so warm despite the rain. So that's what's going on.
Nice. I totally forgot until you started folding that we were here to fold laundry. I was just paying attention. Like a normal meeting. I was like, oh yeah, what's she talking about? Yep. But here, speaking of, weather, because we always like talking about weather, I'm so bummed. I missed the Northern Lights here in the Bay Area. I didn't hear about it until the next day. And then it was foggy the whole rest of the weekend, but it looked very magical.
Yeah, I know. I kept seeing all these pictures on Facebook and social media of the beautiful lights. It's crazy. I don't know if anyone else caught wind of that there if you're from the Bay Area, but yeah.
Speaking of which, if you're watching us live, feel free to comment down below. Doesn't matter what platform you're on. And we should be able to see your comments. So let us know where you're based. Let us know if you have any questions. And we would love to get to know you a little bit more. All right. Well, actually, one thing I wanted to ask you before we get started, Julie, I've been meaning to ask you this. Okay. What color are your nails currently?
Oh, my nails are a dark color.
What? Nice. Is that like a purple? Like a maroonish?
Like a maroon, yeah. Totally not something that I normally do, but I decided to be different.
Yeah, okay. So I wanted to ask you, what is your strategy for choosing nail color?
It's really just most of the time, whatever my nail tech wants to do, she does it. I give her that freedom.
Oh, okay. So you kind of leave it open.
Yeah.
You don't have like a preconceived, like you go in and you want to do a certain something.
Sometimes I do. Sometimes it depends on the mood. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, they always look good. I didn't start having my nails done until maybe a year ago, but it's so great. It's, as a lifelong nail biter, I used to always look down at my nails and be so like, ugh, I don't want anybody to see my nails. It felt so unprofessional. And once I got the first time I was a little bit like, sorry, could you guys do like some acrylic? I know my nails are really short and all this stuff, but they did it, they're professionals and they did it. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. And now I get into it, but mine are also a different color than I normally have. So they're a nice lavender. I'm not normally a purple fan, but it struck me.
Well, very good. Well, one of the things I thought we could talk about today, let's just dive into it because speaking of my moods, the things that I've been, that I thought would be an interesting topic for today is to kind of talk a little bit about emotion and investing, particularly. I think that it's, now that we've been in this business, between you and I, we've been in real estate for decades now. But being in this industry that we're in now of, buying multifamily together with our investor partners, I've seen a wide range of emotions, 8 years ago when I first got into this space in 2016 myself, I remember it was a hot market at the time. People were still getting 8%, 10%. No, I think, 8 years ago, we were still seeing like on the regular 12% cash on cash returns was a normal thing. I still remember even seeing some that were in the 16% cash on cash rate. And over the years, that number has come down and down and down and down and down to the point now we're kind of seeing the number slip back up. But over the last year, for sure, you're lucky if you see 2% or 3%, in the first couple of years. But it just, as we are trying to navigate these, a little bit of uncharted territory for us, it's interesting to see, and for many of our investors anyway, it's interesting to see the range of emotions shift from where they were 7 and 8 years ago. And the conversations look a lot different today. And back when I first got into the space, people were, there was exuberance and excitement and curiosity and wonder and a little bit of apprehension, but nonetheless, let's willing to take risks and let's do this. We can't fail, that kind of a feeling. And that went on for a good long while. We started in 2018, and that went on for probably, I want to say, at least the first 4 years, 3 to 4 years that we were in business. This level of sort of interest and excitement, and referring people, and wanting to just talk more about what we were doing. And now, fast forward to today, 7, 8 years later. I'm just obviously, there's a lot of uncertainty out there in the marketplace right now. We have, wars going on. We have bank failures. We have interest rates going through the roof. Inflation is crazy. And as a result, there's still a lot of emotion, but it's a different emotion, right? It used to be this exuberance and this curiosity. And now we're finding that there's, a lot of people who are apprehensive and nervous and scared and losing confidence. And, these are some of the words and the terms that I've heard from some of our, investors, and some investors that I've just met, or, and that I've spoken with over the last year or so. And so it's just interesting, this correlation, I think, between what's happening in the market and then subsequently your emotions, because in theory, it should be something that's not correlated, right? Like what's happening is a fact. But then you throw emotion into the mix and it turns into a whole other situation.
Oh, yeah.
So
as with many areas of life.
Yes, that's true. That is true. So I don't know. It's just an observation that I've been making recently. My feeling and my opinion is that emotion should be something that is separate from your investment decisions, and something that is. I always think about that movie Inside Out, and I think about the different emotions sitting in the brain upstairs. And it's not that we want to push it away or pretend that fear doesn't exist, or that, things like that. But I think that to the extent that we can acknowledge the fact that fear may be in the room and say, hey, fear, there you are. Welcome. Come sit down. You can have a seat next to joy. And joy is sitting right there. But we're going to have joy sit right here, which is more front and center to our experience of life. No matter what is happening in our lives, I think this is true not only for the investing world, but just for generally speaking, that when we let fear sit in the driver's seat, our experience of life is very different than when we let joy sit in the driver's seat. But what's your take on emotions and investing?
I mean, I think you said it. The key is not to, because as humans, we're emotional beings. We're always going to have emotions, and emotions can be a key indicator of our experience through something, and they can be a good hint of something larger. But it's, as you said, not necessarily putting the blinders on and letting the emotion drive the ship, so to speak, but to acknowledge that, wait a second, I'm feeling fearful right now about this investment or anything. And well, what does that mean? Why am I feeling that way? Where did that emotion come from?
Right.
Is that truly from something that I know about, that I've done research on, that I'm looking at this and I have this that this isn't going to go well? Or is it because, maybe I heard somebody talking about this, or I heard this on the news, and then it clouded my thoughts around it, and that's where this fear is coming from? Maybe in that case, then that signals to me, wait a second, I need to dig deeper so that I can form my own opinion about this. That fear or the joy, same, it is a good first indicator that you may need to dig deeper. I mean, I would say that the joy and the excitement and the hope is just as dangerous as the fear and the apprehension and the anxiety, because I mean, when everybody's like, woo, this is the best thing ever, and people start just not looking closely at it, not doing their due diligence, and just throwing money at it, that can be very risky too, very dangerous. So it goes both ways. But in my personal life, that's something that I've had to contend with too. And I know you've done some work on this too, is the emotion. Well, I think we've had actually very different experiences with emotion, because I have been, my upbringing is such that, I was taught from a very early age, you have no emotions. Basically, that was the message I was given. Nope, put that away. That's too much. Just put it in a box and continue to get good grades and follow the rules and do the things you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And so from a very young age, I learned, okay, I may feel fearful, but that's not important. Or I may feel, angry, but I'm not going to express that. And it's actually taken me a long time, up until, the last couple of years, really. I've had to do a lot of work with unwinding a lot of that. It became something I wasn't even aware of, that I didn't even know I had these emotions. I went to my friends and I was like, guys, did you know that I had all these emotions? And like, yeah, we knew. And I just wasn't connecting to it myself.
Yeah.
And so I've had to take the time, and I'm like, oh, how do I feel in this situation?
Yeah.
And that's been kind of something that I've been working on. But I know what's been your experience with emotion, whether with investing or just in general?
Yeah, I mean, I think that as of late, it's been, really the way you described it is like, letting emotions sit in the room, acknowledging that it's there, asking why it's there. Hey, fear, why'd you come? What business do you have to report today? And then me being more of the internal operator or driver of the ship that then says, does this person or this emotion have a valid, purpose or reason for being here, that can help me at the end of the day? And what can we do about it? And so it's, I think that it's, that's kind of my experience as of late. But yeah, it's just really interesting, because I think that, when we let emotion get in the way, particularly as it relates to investing, I think that it can get, the waters can get very muddy, and it can be good or bad, just as you kind of alluded to. It can be good or bad. And so I think that we just need to be, aware of, these emotions and how they might be, impacting our decisions. I've felt a lot of people have, given up hope, and it saddens me, because I still believe in the power of real estate. And I think that this was all anticipated. Real estate is cyclical.
It's cyclical.
It's not, it's not like this forever, like going up like a rocket and you never, plateau a little and go back up again. But it's just, I think that we have to understand that this is all par for the course, and we have to accept the fact that this is, where we are. I know it's not fun. I know it's painful. I know it's scary. But one of the things that I've also been working on, in the last year, is just being more comfortable with uncertainty. And gosh, that's hard. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so hard, especially for me. Talk about what is the relation, with emotions. That's definitely something that has been really hard for me. And so it's just, I think, figuring out how to navigate those waters, of saying, okay, I'm not in the driver's seat, because who is right now with all these wars and like I said, all these negative things happening in the world, I'm not in the driver's seat, right? And so it's like, I have to make sure that I'm focusing on the things that are within my control. And my emotions are absolutely within my control. I may not always be able to make a feeling go away, and you shouldn't want that. But understanding and respecting the fact that the emotion might be there, acknowledging them and letting them come in and have a seat. And the funny thing is that when you push fear away, or you try to get rid of fear, it will not go away. It's like that pesky neighbor that you don't want bothering you, that just keeps
toddler
over.
The pesky toddler.
And you're just like, oh my gosh, can you please just leave me alone? And the more you try to resist, the more it persists, right? I mean, I'm sure you have heard that saying before. And, I find that when I let fear come on in and have a seat, that, it goes away faster, right? And it's just letting it talk, letting it do its thing. So, yeah, it's just really interesting, because I'm saddened to see that some people have kind of given up hope on real estate, at a time when I believe there's going to be some opportunities here, some real opportunities soon. So yeah, something to
say regarding, I mean, if you're watching this, then that means you're ahead of many of those people who have already shut the book on this whole real estate thing, right? You're investing your time to really dig into this and understand, wait a second, am I fearful for the right reasons, or is this unfounded? And so I think if you're watching this, you're absolutely doing the right thing by trying to get to the bottom of it. Because here's the thing, just like, in business, when the winter comes, so to speak, the economic winter, if you can stay in business, or you start in business in that economic winter, then you have the opportunity to build a really strong business. And it's the same with investing. If you can make it through during a time when you're really fearful, when things are hard, when not everything is going your way, then when things start to, because it's cyclical, when things come back around, you're going to be in a much, much better place than everybody else who just cut ties and run during that time. So, as with many things in life, life gives us these opportunities to step up and show our true character, see who we really are, see how badly you want this. This has happened to us so many times in business, right? We're like, okay, here comes the universe again, giving us another opportunity to step up with our backs up against the walls. We got to do this thing. And it's the same with investing. You got to do it despite the fear, not when you're not fearful.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, if anybody out there is watching, listening, would love to hear your feedback and your comments on, what your relationship is with your emotions right now, and how that ties to, investing for you. And are you able to keep those two things separate? Investing is what it is, and emotion is what it is. Or do you find that, there's a lot of overlap? Do you feel like your emotions sometimes get in the way of your investment decisions, which is scary too? Because I know that can happen for a lot of folks. So, drop a comment, let us know. I would love to hear how you guys are feeling out there. A lot's sort of changed in the landscape just even over this last year. So, would love to hear how everybody's kind of feeling out there.
Yeah. And if you're not investing, or you're not currently investing, but you have emotions around your finances at this time, or your budget, or how much you're spending, or how much you're saving, we'd love to hear about that too. We're in this just as you are. We're right here with you every step of the way. We want to hear your thoughts and your concerns, and just as we're sharing ours. So we're super grateful for all of you. Joyce chimed up and said, I think everything you say is so true. Thank you, Joyce. That's so sweet. Well, we're grateful that you're here and joining us. I am only halfway, we did a lot of laundry. We did it all for one big batch. I haven't instituted the whole system that I love. I am definitely that book is on my list now. What was it called? How to Raise an Adult.
Yes.
And definitely want to get to that point.
Yes.
But haven't gotten there this week. So I'm still folding all of my kids' laundry.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, so if you're watching this, we're going to be back. We're aiming to do this every 2 weeks. So we're going to be back not next week, but the week after that. So wherever you're watching this, we'll be streaming live the same time on the Friday, 2 Fridays from now. In the meantime, if you want to follow us or get connected with any of our other events, the best place to go is goodegginvestments.com. You'll find a ton of resources there. All right. Any last thoughts, Julie?
Nope, other than, hang in there, everyone, because investing is cyclical. And I believe that we're going through winter right now, as I'm sure many people understand and believe. But what always follows winter is spring. And I think that spring is going to be on its way. It's just a matter of time. So hang in there. Don't let those negative emotions sit in the driver's seat, and stay happy.
Thanks, everyone. See you next time.
Bye.